Whoever did the screenplay for 1995 Judge Dredd deserves to be chucked out of a window. I guess Judgement was served, because Dredd 3D is here to stay. Hey, Andrew from Media Award, and I just got back from watching Dredd 3D at the cinemas. I have my ticket to confirm it. Awesome stuff. And what do I think of the movie? It was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a solid action movie. I delivered some really great action scenes, some really beautiful, good-looking 3D moments. It stayed true to the comics, to the original source material, and it more than made up for that shitty 90s version.
I knew you'd say that.
That I just trying to phase out of my mind, because this is the ultimate Dredd movie you're going to see. This is a really good, well done movie, and I'm really happy. This paid off so much, and the best of all, it's an 18 certificate. Fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to be reviewing Dredd 3D. I'm going to be talking about the storyline, talking about the characters, the genre, and anything else I think is important to mention when talking about this movie. So let's talk about Dredd 3D.
The sentence is death.
The storyline for Dredd is very straightforward. We see a futuristic city, very different from the 1995 Judge Dredd. It's more true to the comics, and the fact that it's kind of a wasteland. It's more like kind of that post-apocalyptic type world, the kind of Fallout 3 type thing. Basically, there's wastelands everywhere. There's very little water. The people are living in this kind of the fortress and the ruins of the old world, in a sense, the old kind of New York City and style. And they design these kind of mega block towers that people live in. So you can live in like the city, you know, the main kind of ruins that are left over, or you can live in these kind of mega towers. And that's kind of the structure of, that's kind of the landscape of this kind of futuristic world. It's very realistic, it's a very gritty, dark kind of take upon the future. Basically, I'm assuming there's been a kind of a World War III in a sense. You know, something has happened, and you know, chaos and whatnot is taking over. And the similar idea, concept of the idea is basically there from, of course, from the original and the comic. When chaos get out of control, the police force have turned themselves into the kind of judge, jury, and execution. The judges, of course, and that concept still remains in this movie. And I like the way it's done in this one. It's done in a very more realistic way. It's, you know, technology-wise and all that stuff. And I like the kind of uniform. It looks like a proper body armor in this movie. You know, it looks like someone can carry that type of weight of the uniform. And I like the fact that it's more realistic in terms of the pads and the actual boots. And you know, it's got that kind of authority figure. It looks like a proper uniform, squat base type stuff. Not like a giant eagle on their shoulder like the original. So I like the uniform in this one. I like the design of the helmet. It looks pretty cool. It looks like pretty tough as well, you know, especially when he's not cracking someone in the head with it. Fantastic. It looks really great. Dredd within this movie is training and testing this new rookie judge named Anderson. She has the ability to read people's minds. She's a psychic, and being that she's a mutant, the council see opportunity and potential in this new candidate for the judges. And I like the fact that it kind of fits into that type of world, that post-apocalyptic nuclear fallout type thing. You know, the fact that there are mutants and people got affected by that, and some people got abilities. Interesting idea. It stays more true to the comic and the source material. So I like the fact that there is that type of character in this movie. Pretty interesting. Judge and the rookie go to this crime scene to test her performance skills, to rate her how she does in the open field. They go to these kind of mega towers, and of course, if you've seen the trailer, you know what the plot is mainly. It's a very similar kind of Training Day meets The Raid in the sense, that type of storyline. They find out who the person is who's basically skinned and took these people off the balcony, and they basically want to turn them in, interrogate him, and the main villain of this movie, called Mama, does not want that.
If we play this right, we could take the whole city.
Because they know that this criminal will talk, and usually Dredd will kill him because sentence is execution for a first-class murder and that stuff. But interrogation, that's what he wanted. So she basically locks down the entire building, basically all the civilians, everyone that does not want to be involved or take down these judges, have to hide. They have to go back into their rooms, and basically they are locked down in. She wants these 2 judges dead. She wants the actual guy dead also, stop him from talking. And it turns into that kind of a very similar type of raid. Now, I'd like to point out for a fact that this movie was done before the raid. The script was done, and the raid was done after. So if anyone's thinking, oh, it's like the raid, or it's not as good as the raid, it's not meant to be. This was done way before. It's not at least a solid year before the raid was even before the cinemas, and before the script was even made. So I find that completely. But I felt the storyline was very straightforward. It was very similar to Training Day meets the raid in a sense, the type of going up levels and all that stuff. I thought the action scenes were really well done in this movie. So the storyline I actually really enjoyed. It was very straightforward. It was great introducing both of these characters, especially for Dredd's character. In the first kind of 20 minutes of the movie, we got to find out kind of who he is in terms of how he stands with the law and how he kind of takes down criminals. And I like his interrogation style. I like his the dialogue within the movie, especially when he's taking down crooks. Also, he's a very strong authority figure in this movie. You know, I love Carl Urban's expression, the kind of frown in the movie, because he doesn't actually take off his helmet. Yes, in this movie, you notice the film. He puts on the helmet at the start of the movie. You don't see his face at all, and it stays on for the entire movie. And it looks really menacing. You get a really different kind of feel to his character. You don't think of the actor, you think of the character and who he is, and the full outfit and the kind of expression and how he carries himself. Really well done. I thought it was really excellent. I also like the rookie, also the Anderson, the ability that she has. I felt she was a very honest judge. She wanted to do good things. You know, she came from a bad background and she wanted to do good things in the community and being a judge and all that type of stuff. So I felt her character was very strong also. And basically in the storyline, they uncovered this kind of new drug called slow-mo, which basically kind of slows down your perception of time.
We can fight our desires. But when we start making fun,
Makes the brain feel as if time is passing at 1% its normal speed.
And I like how that's kind of played out, and we find out in this movie that Mama, the villain, she's basically the ringleader of this kind of drug operation. She is the entire kind of drug labs and stuff at the top of the level, and they find it and they have to go up the levels basically to stop Mama, to get out of the building, and at the same time put an end to the the drugs, the slow-mo. I like the slow-mo and how it's done. I love the 3D effects are really fantastic in this movie, especially with the beautiful shots of the slow-mo, and when they're taking it, everything just slows down and it looks really fantastic. It's really clear. I like the look of it. It's really good. What I felt was strong and simple to introduce Dredd's character into this kind of futuristic world. I like how he interacts with the actual crooks and the criminals. I like how the futuristic world city looks, and the style of it looks really well done. So I felt the storyline was very simple. It was done really, really well. And I felt it was generally quite strong. Being this is a part of the trilogy, I felt it was a good choice to do something like this, just to show him as an actual character with an actual rookie. And I like the fact that the rookie character is basically the audience's eyes in a sense, because we don't know everything that's happening in this movie. It's also a really good, solid action movie. This movie is an 18 certificate rating, and you can definitely tell some of the violent scenes, but the violence is used appropriately in this movie, and I really like that. I really appreciate that. I like the fact that there's blood packs in this movie. The only CGI blood you'll see in this movie is when the slow-mo kills happens. If you've seen a trailer or if you've seen any clips, you would know there's a kind of the crooks are taking, or the criminals are taking slow-mo, and Dredd busts in and he kind of shoots them all while in this kind of perception of time. Really fantastic looking scene, really beautiful, and it looks pretty fucking awesome in all fairness. The violence is done really well, and it's really refreshing to see a violent comic book based movie. I haven't seen that since Watchmen, so it's that type of approach of violence, if you get me. I like the action sequences and scenes are done really, really well. How Dredd kind of operates and how he kind of enforces the law in some action scenes, especially he's kind of giving them a warning. I'm going to give you like 20 seconds to surrender, otherwise you will be, judged in a sense. And he comes out guns blazing type of thing. I love his gun within the movie, kind of the judge gun. If you've seen the 1995 Judge Dredd, you would know how cool that gun is. Even the original, it's still pretty cool. The kind of the rapid fire, the kind of rocket launcher, or the gun that has everything, the Swiss Army knife of guns in a sense. Really cool gun. I like how it's used. I like how the kills in this movie, it's very different. Generally quite violent in some of the kills that are done, exploding heads and fires, and all type of cool stuff you like to see in a movie like this. Yeah, the kills are done really, really well. The fight scenes also, nothing, raid style and that stuff, just a couple of close combat kind of punches and, fist fights and stuff, so I like that idea of that. There's a couple of little surprises and little twists in the movie which I wasn't really expecting. The trailer doesn't show everything in the movie, but it does show a little too much in some areas. Even though I know that information going in, and I knew he was going to come up at that point because there's certain scenes I didn't see until right to the end, I still really enjoyed it. I felt the trailer did ruin some little bits of it, but it was still good setup. It was still a lot of things I wasn't expecting, a lot of quotes and ideas that were thrown in that I thought were really original and really well done. So I felt as an actual solid action movie, it was done really, really well. And being that this is a kind of a low budget British funding, this wasn't a studio interference movie. I felt it was done really well. They spent the money appropriately, solidly, and they placed it just right kind of thing. So fantastic. The director is Peter Travis, who also did Vantage Point, a film that I actually really, really enjoyed also. A lot of people seem to have mixed opinions about that movie, but I thought the direction work was really solid in this movie also, and I liked the set pieces. I thought the direction work and the cinematography I felt was really interesting, and especially within the slow-mo shots. Solid, really fantastic piece of work there. Good stuff. The acting, we have Carl Urban as, of course, Judge Dredd. I felt he did a solid performance. I thought he did a better performance than him and Sylvester Stallone did. He did a really realistic approach. He wasn't over the top or anything. He wasn't a kind of a superhuman clone or not. He was basically just an ordinary guy that had a lot of anger. He had a lot of passion about the law, and he's just, not one of those people that, takes going down very lightly. If you put him in a situation, he will take you down. I like his action scenes. I like his quotes. I like his dialogue. I like how Carl Urban kind of carried his character. I think he was a badass. Carl Urban, I think he's a fantastic actor anyway, and I think he pulled off Judge Dredd very, very well. And I think the fact that they had his helmet on the entire movie, I felt give us that kind of atmosphere and that kind of respect for his character. So yeah, fantastic job, really good acting from him. And we also have the rookie played by Anderson, of course. I felt she did a really good job also. She played the humanity side of Dredd in a sense, because Dredd is a kind of a one-note type character in the sense, he doesn't believe in second chances. If you shoot at me, I will kill you instantly without hesitation, because that is the law. And she's trying to do something a bit more different. She knows there's innocent people out there, and she's trying to do the right thing. And she kind of toughens up later on in the movie, and she kind of sees things from the Judge's point of view, but she's also trying to teach Dredd, the kind of, we can't do everything like this kind of sense. So I like her performance. I like how they kind of interact with each other in terms of a sidekick. So good performance by her. The villain on this movie, called Mama, felt she was a pretty strong villain. She just a typical baddie. She wasn't amazing or anything. She wasn't a comic book villain or anything. She was just a simple, I'm a prostitute that went into a kind of a drug dealing business, money making scheme, and you were not going to stop me. It's just that simple. It's basically just an ordinary person that's been through a lot of stuff, and she's not going to get down lightly. So basically, overall, I felt the acting in this movie was good. It wasn't amazing or anything. There's no kind of Oscar-winning performances. It is a solid action movie with a very straightforward script, with some very good acting, basically. That is basically what you're going to expect within this movie. It's definitely better than the 1995 Judge Dredd, and I felt he did a really fantastic job. I like the fact he was an 18. The fact he was an 18 benefited it more, I think. Gives a bit more of appeal, a bit more of okay, interesting, so I'm going to check that out type stuff. So yeah, direction work I thought was good, and also cinematography was good. Now, I did see this movie in 3D. Now, usually I don't like 3D movies. I think they're unnecessary, and I think they ask too much, and they charge a lot of money at the cinemas to go and watch them. But I felt with this movie, I felt it was pretty decent. I felt it was used appropriately, especially within the slow-mo drug sequences, the perception of time. I felt it was really beautiful looking, really fantastic, and I felt it was appropriate to use that then. They used it in some of the glossier scenes and some of the action scenes. Made it look a bit more cool. I like it. Some of the gadgets in the movie also looked pretty decent. The establishing shots were really cool also. The kind of the sunsets, and I like some of how the blood splatters also in this movie, especially when some of the action sequences when you get like blood splats come out, especially when the slow-mo sequence looked really fantastic, and it kind of added an extra layer to the movie which I wasn't really expecting. So I thought the 3D was pretty decent, nothing mind-blowing, and I would definitely recommend you go and check it out within the 3D screening, especially for some of those extra shots, some of those extra kind of sequences. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to give Dredd a stamp of approval. So it was a solid action movie with some pretty decent acting, some good direction work, some really good cinematography, straightforward storyline. It stayed true to the comics, and being that's an 18 certificate, it does not hold back. It uses the violence appropriately, so you know the version you're going to see at the cinemas is not going to be an edited or a cut version. It's going to be the full intended version you're going to see at the cinemas. Definitely make you go and check it out. It's definitely worth watching for sure. So if you're not convinced by the review completely, I would definitely recommend a rental. It's definitely worth it. I definitely recommend purchasing it on the actual day. There's probably going to be a steelbook later on next year when it comes out. I'm definitely going to buy it on the day. It's definitely worth keeping. It's definitely worth watching at the cinemas. So go and check it out, see what you think. So yeah, that has been my review on Dredd 3D. I hope you enjoyed watching this review. Have you seen the movie? What do you think? Would you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? Do you think it was better than the 1995 Judge Dredd? Love to know. Comment down below. I'd love to have a discussion based upon it. So in the meantime, this is Andrew from Media from Green TV. Signing out.